UK to formally declare Brexit March 29. Months after the UK's referendum vote, the government will soon formally begin divorce proceedings with the EU. Reports surfaced Monday morning that British Prime Minister Theresa May will trigger Article 50 of her country's treaty with the European Union next week, officially setting into motion the Brexit process after months of ironing out details. Tim Barrow, the UK's ambassador to the European Union, reportedly informed European Council President Donald Tusk on Monday of the British government's intention to finally begin formal proceedings, according to the BBC. Tusk tweeted later in the day that he would present the draft guidelines to the remaining members of the European Union within 48 hours of the UK's triggering of Article 50. Tusk tweeted last week that he will do everything in my power to make sure that the UK and EU are close friends after the Brexit split is finalised. He also said he would stress that EU's door will always remain open. By a nearly 52% to 48% referendum in late June, voters from the UK elected to split with the EU and iron out their own trade and migration policies. But the UK can't begin its self-navigation without formally beginning the divorce process that's expected to take at least 2 years to finalise. Last June, the people of the UK made the historic decision to leave the EU. Next Wednesday, the government will deliver on that decision and formally start the process by triggering Article 50. Brexit Minister David Davis said in a statement Monday. The process is expected to be neither quick nor easy, as May and her colleagues on the British side of negotiations are attempting to seek the freest possible trade in goods and services between the UK and the EU, which may be a tall order for the EU. The UK is an important buyer and seller of goods in relation to the rest of Europe, but the EU is also unlikely to give the UK a free pass as it faces subsequent calls for referendum votes in Italy, France and elsewhere. A paper put out by the UK's government last month indicated it had already started discussions on future trade deals with Australia, New Zealand, and India. It also noted the US is the country's single biggest export market and that it would be crucial to iron something out with American officials. But the internal politics of the Brexit move may be as challenging as the trade considerations. Certain corners of the UK Parliament are still vehemently opposed to the country's Brexit strategy, with Parliament member David Lammy tweeting Monday that London's status as a global city depends on rejecting Brexit's small-town conservatism, resurgent nationalism and anti-immigrant sentiment. Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has also ramped up pressure on May and the UK government to grant Scotland its own referendum vote from the UK in the event it doesn't like the finalised terms of the Brexit deal, potentially allowing Scotland to remain in the EU as its own country. Thus far, however, these efforts have been unsuccessful. Please subscribe my channel.